What up, Gemma? How you doing, honey?
What up, Froggy?
So,
What up, everybody?
as you know, it states how autism affects people with Gemma Grace Journey.
Yeah.
Gemma Journey Grace. I always want to say Gemma Grace Journey. I don't know why. But
That's fine. It's still the
the
same thing.
question of the day is, what up, Everett? How does autism affect your daily life?
Okay, so that's a deep question. So the first part I want to say is it's a neurodevelopmental condition, which means that the brain works in a different way from the non-autistic brain, the non-disabled brain, if you want to put it that way. So my brain is a constant round and round circles going round constantly all the time working, and autism comes with sensory issues and issues with food and other issues. So for me, I'll explain the senses. So you've got each human has their sense of taste, touch, sense, sound, and vestibular. So it's space awareness. And a lot of people with autism don't really know their senses unless they're in a situation. So for me right now, I'm excited, I'm happy because I'm doing a live stream with you. But at the same time, earlier today, there was a time where I was
Anxious?
slightly more anxious and doing so much stuff in my head. I'm like, wow, hold on, whoa. And now I'm like, okay, that was crappy earlier. That's done, that's gone, blah. And now I'm because I'm focused. And so a lot of people can often struggle with that because once they have one bad situation, it tends to flip their switch and go, oh, that's all bad. Now all day is going to be bad. Whereas no, it doesn't have to be. Only that little bit was bad. So a lot of autistic people can't regulate themselves in time to do a lot of other things during their day. So it ends up being sensory overwhelming or sensory shutdowns.
I personally feel called up right now because literally if one bad thing happens to me, the whole goddamn day is shot. I just want to go to my bed. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. For you, obviously, Froggy, it's different because you have a different condition that makes you the side effects are that way. The how your brain processes things and how your body deals with things is different from mine. So yours is a lot more of a physical.
Right, and like I've said, I am on the spectrum. I am getting tested for full-blown autism. But
yeah,
that's why I said I personally feel called up because goddamn, I didn't know that was part of autism. But let me tell you, I have one bad day. If something like I wake up and I get out of bed and my dog that has stomach issues had an accident in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I see that sets my whole damn day off. If I got up every 2 hours with him like I normally do, and he still had an accident, I'm like, what the fuck? What else could go wrong today? And it's just because that one little thing has affected me. And that's why I said I personally feel called out because so like the day that the car stopped working, I was literally coming home from my mom's. I'm like, what else can fucking go wrong? Because I was supposed to go see my mom the next day, and I wasn't trusting it to drive the 27 minutes, and she was leaving. So it was like, well, fuck.
Yeah. It can be situations like with me that I can get like that. There's sometimes where I'll have so much that I've done during the day that I get so into my sensory shutdown and my meltdown that my body can't do anymore. And that happened. I was meant to be going out yesterday in the evening as well as being out already during the day yesterday. And it got to the evening, I got home and I was so physically and mentally done that I literally disappeared. I literally got home, come onto my couch here, and I literally crashed. I was in so much pain, And because I was meant to go out and see my family last night, they're like, Gemma, where are you? Where are you at? Are you coming? Da, 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 da. And I'm like,
nope, I'm not. I'm going to sit my ass right here down on the table in this chair, and I ain't moving. And that's one thing I did. Now, you say meltdowns, okay?
yeah.
Are you talking like where you just rage out and start throwing things, or you start screaming, crying?
It
Because
can be that some meltdowns are more worse than others for autistic people. My meltdowns are more usually emotion based, so mine are more about crying. My depression kicks up. My panic attacks are more likely because when I get into an emotional meltdown, my breathing goes all funny, and I get like, and I get really. I feel like my heart's gonna give out on me, and I know it's not. But at that time, my body is like, "Oh, you're not coping. This is bad. This is real bad. This is bad." And I feel like my heart's just going, and I'm like, and it
and
can
you
get quite
can't breathe, and then you have to
yeah, and people are like,
manually
"Oh,
make
Gemma,
yourself breathe.
you're just overhyping it. You're being dramatic." And I'm like, "No, it feels like I'm gonna die. Like I literally feel like I've got restriction of blood in my chest, and I'm like gasping for breath." And people are, "Oh, calm down. You need to calm down." I'm like, "That's the worst thing to tell me when I'm in that meltdown, in that panic attack. Leave me alone. Don't tell me to calm down because I'm just gonna not listen to you."
Right, and now I have a friend whose son is autistic, nonverbal autistic.
Yeah,
But at the same point in time, like his meltdowns are just like hitting and stuff like that. And it's like I
yeah,
understand having meltdowns, but at the same point in time, can you if you're in a meltdown and it's
right.
horrible, can somebody redirect you?
Yes, mostly there is strategies that can bring me and other autistic people out of it. So things like talking to us quietly, just sitting with us. Like some people like being hugged or touched. When I'm in a meltdown, the worst thing you can do is touch me because I get really, really emotional and I get really, really stroppy when I'm in a meltdown. And when I'm in a meltdown, I had one probably about my last bad one, probably say about 6-8 weeks ago. And my dad was here, and we were doing work on my flat at the time, my apartment, and I just lost it. And my dad literally thought he was doing a good thing by hugging me. Because usually I love my dad when he hugs me. I'm like, yeah, give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug. And I didn't want to know way near me. I was like, get away, don't touch me, go away, don't be near me, don't want you touching me, don't want your breath near me. I don't want to see you. Literally, I was so vile because I was so far in that meltdown that everything he did was offensive. It was either I was going to swear at him, I was going to shout at him, I was going to say something aggressive to him, and that's not me. I'm not an aggressive, nasty person. And for me to take it out on my dad that way, I did. I felt awful. It took me 2 days to calm down, and that second day, I managed to calm down where I'm at, calm like this now. I had to ring up and go, "I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to shout at you. I shouldn't have cussed at you. I shouldn't have been rude. I shouldn't have shoved you out the door." But because I was so far gone, that was how my body was reacting. I
Right.
literally made my dad be the bad person per se, and I know he's not.
Your mind played tricks on you.
Yeah, it was like my dad was just the walking target. Unfortunately, he was in my warpath, so it kind of become, well, he's the bad person, and he did this to you, and he made you lose your temper. And I'm like, well, no, he didn't. My brain made me lose my temper because I wasn't coping.
Right, which is totally understandable. And that's why I asked that question, because a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah,
What up there, Scotty? When you are in a meltdown, as you call it, a meltdown, basically your brain is overfried, you've had
yeah,
enough, you're stressed out, and to be at that point, it makes it harder on you.
yeah.
Real quick, I
it,
want to
it,
say
it
what up, Dorian, SJ,
there's
Jeff.
also different things that my body goes through in that meltdown. When I get into that meltdown, it's a case of my body has had so beyond had enough that my brain just goes, well, I'm going to screw you even more than you're already screwed. You know, I'm going to make you feel so shit and rubbish and bad, and you're going to ache like hell for days, and you're going to have tears for days. You're going to not want to get out of bed, and my brain just gets to so point where it's like, well, I'm going to screw you proper this time. You're going to have really bad pain, and you're going to feel sleepy all the time, and I have to literally force myself to come out of that, because if I don't, I will spend 4 or 5 days easy just sleep in my bed, or sometimes on my couch here. I'll just lay here and not do anything apart from going to the bathroom or getting food. Apart from that, my body will be here on this couch, and people go, well, that's just you being lazy. That's just you not being bothered. I'm like, no, it's not laziness. It's a fact my body is in so much pain, I can't hack anything else. My body is telling me, no, enough is enough. And that's when I have to do it, because otherwise my body just will give up before I give up.
Right, which is totally understandable when you're coming from the aspects of the point you're at now. Like, that's kind of like me when I'm out walking, like this weekend. As you've seen, I was out at the park, and I didn't do a lot of walking, but that you guys seen. But then we went garage sailing, and then we went to Walmart, and that was standing around forever and a day because we were getting new phones. And by the end of it, by Sunday, we were supposed to go out garage sailing again and go out hiking again. And I looked at Roy, and I walked out the door, and I was limping because, of course, my feet hurt because of the fibromyalgia. I have neuropathy in my feet, and it hurts to walk on your own feet, which is really bad. And he goes, we're not hiking today. And I said, nope. He goes, all right, let's go to Walmart, get the few things we want. We did hit a couple little garage sales, but there wasn't anything we wanted there. And then we ended up just staying at home, and I stayed in bed, and it was like, I'm tired of being in bed, but when you can't walk on your feet, what else are you supposed to do? And I have a feeling that's kind of like you, where you're like, to the point you just, I don't want to be in bed. I want to go out and do things, but then the overwhelming sensation hits up again.
Yeah, this is what people don't get, because people say to me, oh, Gemma, you're so functional and you're so sociable, and you can't possibly have all these bad meltdowns you keep talking about, and you can't possibly have shutdowns and burnout. And I'm like, well, yeah, because my body goes through so much in a day that a lot of you wouldn't cope. And I've said to people, I dare you to imagine your day as an autistic person and see how you get on, because you've got sensory issues to being touched, smell, sight, sound, and then you've got taste. And people need to remember, all them 5 senses going off at once in one day, if someone budges into you and they've got, say, cologne or perfume on, that's going to heighten you. 2, then you're in a store and they've got a funny smell, or they've got some fragrance in their store, that's going to trigger you. Then imagine you've got people with their cell phones ringing, or they've got children with them and the children are screaming. You've got high-pitched noise, that's another trigger, it's going to trigger you. Then you've got crowds, that's one of the main ones for me. I don't deal well with crowds, even though I go out in crowd spaces and I show you how I cope, but crowds trigger the hell out of me, because it's something I can't avoid. It's something I have to do if I want to go out. And unfortunately, crowds agitate me, because often I have people who budge into me like this, or they'll go past me. And like yesterday, I had some guy with a brolly whack me on the back, and that one bit of touch drove me mental. It got to a point where I'm limping with my side like this, walking around with my friend because it's her birthday, and she's like, Gemma, you're right. I'm like, don't touch me, don't talk to me for a little while, let me calm down. I'm triggered. I'm feeling really, really overwhelmed. She says, what's the matter? And I just said to her, I just told you, leave me alone. I just had some random guy whack me in the back with a brolly. I'm throbbing like hell. My back is really killing me. And she goes, oh, he didn't really hit you that hard. I'm like, yes, he did. It was hard enough for me to feel the smack on my back. And she goes, oh, it's only a light tap. I went, it wasn't a light tap to me. It literally felt like someone's fist had gone into my back. And
right,
she's
like how would she know what you felt? And that's one thing that, like, as you, someone with diagnosed autism, me who has diagnosed fibromyalgia, my mom who has diagnosed multiple sclerosis. Now all of these are nerve endings because your brain, it all suffers around your brain.
yeah,
We feel things at a different heightened than
yeah,
everybody else, and that is one thing that I did want to bring up with you, because you have said that you feel things on a different
yeah.
basis. Is it that you feel things to the point where, like, let's say I walked up to you and I tapped you like this,
Yeah.
would it feel like I just went like this on your back, or would it feel the
It probably would feel, I guess, in between a little bit of it because it depends on the pressure that's applied to me. So again, I am very sensitive to touch in general, but if someone touches me and either I don't know them or I feel that they're going to hurt me, my body will put its guard up and be like, no, this is bad. This is not good for you. This is going to hurt. This is going to suck. So therefore I go, and I'll pull away. Whereas if it's someone I know like you, say if I met up with you in real life and you go to touch me, I'd be more likely to let you do it because I know you and I feel safe. So again, it's about a safety thing. If someone touches me and I know them, I'm like, oh, cool, come and touch me. Yeah, fine. But if it's someone like a stranger, like I've got a perfect example. This happened to me actually on Friday when I went out to my Elvis tribute. This woman come up to me. She was completely paralytically drunk out of her head, steaming drunk, completely woohoo, drunk. And she come up to me and she goes, oh, you got to teach me this Elvis dance. Like, and she grabbed me by the hand and she grabbed me here by my wrist. Oh
and your
my God,
body's
I
like,
freaked.
no.
Yes, and I freaked. I literally stared at her. She stared at me. My Elvis tribute was like, looked at me and he always goes like this. And he goes, when I'm not okay, I'm like, he goes, so I walked up to him. He goes, and he always says this, he goes, okay or not okay? And I was like, he's like, right. And then I literally had to go and sit next to him on the spare stool to get away from this woman. And after the song had finished, he went up to the woman. He went, point her out, who was it? And I was like, this woman over here. And he was like, okay. And he went up to the woman. He goes, one, I'm going to tell you, do never, ever, ever touch Gemma, ever, period. You don't know who she is. You don't know what disability she's got. And three, why the hell do you grab someone by the wrist that you don't know? He goes,
Right.
you're gonna leave her feeling really overstimulated. Gemma is autistic. And she looked at me, she goes, oh, so you've got people with special needs in here. And he flipped. I'm like, I hate that word. Special needs. Oh, that aggravates me. No, when he says to me, oh, you're special needs. I'm like, no, I'm not. So it's just
Hold
little
on.
things like that can really overstimulate me because if I don't know you, you go to touch me, please don't, because then I'm the one who has to
Right.
pay for it later because my body then shuts down.
Exactly. And that is one thing that I did want to ask, because a lot of people don't understand that, like, I understand because my brother had this one thing where, like, you could touch him. Okay. And they state that a lot of autistic children have a harder time being touched and being around people. And that's
Yeah,
one of the first signs that your child may or may not have autism,
yeah,
is by the fact that they don't like being touched.
yeah. Touch is a very well-known trait on the autism spectrum. For me, I am what they call hypersensitive, which basically means my body is more alert to people touching me, and I'm more triggered by it. With some people with autism, or what they call hyposensitive, so they're people who like touch. They're people who are affectionate and want deep pressure touch, whereas I'm the opposite. I'm someone that only likes deep pressure touch or being touched if I know you. If it's by a stranger or some random people come up to me, you're going to have two things. You're going to have me push you away, or you're going to have me go like that, because my body will react as if to say, leave me alone, you're a bad person. So I automatically will pull away. But some people with autism, they love it. They love being touched. They love being hugged. I don't.
Oh,
I'm the opposite.
like, okay, so I can't say that because I will grab Roy's hand while we're driving down the road. But again, like you said, you know him. Or I
Yeah,
know him. But like if strangers were to come up to me and touch me, it's like, what? And you just got to be really nice about it and blah 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 blah. And
yeah. This is the
we all know,
thing.
we all know damn well Froggy is not the nicest person in the whole entire world when she's in an aggravated mood.
This is the thing. People can't expect us to be in a nice mood when we're getting aggravated, or if we're overwhelmed or overstimulated. The problem is a lot of people will not realize that, or they'll think, oh well, we know better than you about your own condition. The amount of people who tell me, that they know better about my autism than me, and I'm like, that's a trigger in itself to me. I'm like, don't you dare tell me you know better about my autism than me. No,
Right,
you don't.
like how the fuck are you gonna sit here and tell me, hey, I know more about autism than you do? When that'd be like if I walked up to you and said, Gemma, I did all the fucking research. I know more about autism than you do. I don't know shit about autism, and I do research. And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Everybody, it's like multiple sclerosis. Everybody has different spectrum. There's different spectrums. There's different levels.
right.
There's different everything about it, and everybody has different symptoms.
Yeah,
So you
this
could
is the
be
thing. Like it's
totally
like you.
different than, say, my friend that has the autistic child.
Yeah, it's like you with your fibromyalgia. I know a few other people who have fibro, but I would never ever claim that I know more, or claim that I know more, that I've done more research about it, because it's one, it's insulting, and two, I don't know much about it. I know very limited information after I've been watching your videos on it and educate myself. But people would say to me, "Oh, Gemma, how come you know all this medical stuff? Like, it's like you're some kind of genius." I'm like, "No, I'm not a genius at all. I study and I study and I study because I want to make sure that everything I know is evidence, is medical. If it's anything medical based, I'll make sure I read journals. I go to doctors and talk to them. I go to psychiatrists, psychologists. I have connections that give me the medical information. I don't just sit here and preach on my channel or on other people's channels, because I know I need to make sure I back up what I say. So everything is always linked to services and people that I know I can trust, because it's dangerous not to. So
Right, and that's why, like, a lot of the videos that I've done, and I didn't want to do one on autism because there was such a big spectrum of autism. So I
yeah,
figured I'd do this with you.
yeah,
Um, I show you the website that I'm reading it off of,
yeah,
and
you
I,
do.
even though I live with fibromyalgia, so does lunatic mom, and you hear us talk about it.
Yeah,
Um, even though we have these, each one of us have different symptoms. My daughter is now full blown diagnosed with the same disease, fibromyalgia, and she's like, "Mom, I don't understand it. All I did was help clean, and all of my muscles locked up." I'm like, "Welcome to my fucking world." When you're
right.
sitting there, all those years you sat there and told me, "Well, Mom, I don't understand. You didn't do shit." And I'm walking around like I'm a 90-year-old woman. Put roller blades on my feet and give me two walking sticks so I can ski because my feet hurt that
Yeah,
damn bad. And you're sitting here saying, well, you didn't do shit. Well, of course I didn't do shit, because the prior 3 days I did everything. And now my body's like, go fuck yourself. You did this to you. And if you
Right.
ever
Yeah.
notice,
Yeah.
there's a lot of times that, like, Roy and Jordan will go down trails. Roy and Jordan will go so far. Roy and Jordan will go hiking for hours. And I'm just sitting there chilling. I'll take you
Yeah.
guys on a short hike with me and I'll walk around a little bit, but it's because I can't do what they can do. So I
Yeah.
do the best I can. And
Right.
again, I'm suffering from it. So I totally get you where you're like, this happened today. I'm going to suffer from it for 2 days,
Yeah.
because anybody with a brain illness and fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis technically are a brain thing, because it is the electrodes going from your brain to the nerve receptacles, just like with the sensory of touch. It's all about nerve receptacles
Yeah.
sending electrodes to your brain. So
Right.
now that we got that specific part out of it, I had to make that clear, because a lot of people are like, well, it's not something to deal with your brain. If you have anything that, if, let's say I touch my hand like this, and it's
Yeah.
sunburned, you can tell which side I ride on, but I touch my hand like this is sunburn. It's going to hurt me. You touch your hand
Yeah.
and it's like this, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because our brain already processed that it was sunburnt. There is the top layer where all the little nerve endings are on fire because it's burnt.
Right. Yeah.
But now you add in autism, multiple sclerosis, or fibromyalgia. I know there's other ones. Please do not come at me. I know there are other ones. It's not just those three. Those are the three I know about. Um, it's like we just fucking full up whapped our hand.
Right.
And that's one thing I did. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I understand that aspect of that. You're like, no, that kind of hurt a little bit more. And they're like, no, it was just a light touch. And you're like, bitch, I'm going to beat you. To you, it was a light touch. To me, it was different. And I think if we started saying that more, where we're like, okay, for you, it was a light touch, but for me, it's different. I think we would get the message clearer to other people, because a lot of people
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah. This is the
understand
thing.
that.
Yeah. You talk about sunburn's a good thing to talk about, actually, because like with an autistic person, if we go through things like sunburn or getting burned, like for instance, the other day, it's not so bad now, but I burnt myself on the oven. There you
Ooh.
go. And that, the pain of that little burn, that little space, oh my god, drove my autism nuts. Literally, as soon as I saw the blister, because originally it was like a big blister that covered the whole of my hand here, and I'm like, okay, got this big weird bulgy thing on my hand, don't get it, don't like it, and trying to do things like getting dressed and wash my hair, and I'm like, I've got this weird lump in my hand, I want to scratch it, I want to pick it off, and I didn't, because I just let it get heal on its own. And the pain, the constant throbbing I could feel of it going like this, I'm like, this sucks, this is really bad, this is really not good, I don't like the pain, I want to do something to stop it. And it got to such a point a few days ago that I literally had to put my hand under my cold water tap, and I literally had to go like this and just let my hand, I felt like my whole arm was on fire all day, and I'm like, please just stop, please stop, I don't like it, I don't want to feel like I'm burning, I feel like my arm's been stuck in a frying machine, and I literally couldn't stop the pain. And people are like, oh, Gemma, stop being so dramatic. I'm like, no, it's not being dramatic, I feel like my whole arm and my chest here was burned. I felt like my arm had literally been put through a frying machine, and I couldn't get it out. I literally felt like someone was just forcing my arm into a fire.
Right, and that's because the pain receptors from your hand had to go all the way through your arm and up.
Yeah.
And so if that were to happen on your feet, your legs, your body, and your neck would hurt because it has to go all the way up.
Yeah.
People normally think, well, just because something happened to your feet, it should just be your feet that hurt. But what they don't understand is there is nerve receptacles that go from your brain down to
your feet.
each area.
Yep, you have
It
little
is like
nerves
little veins that go through. And guess what? Ours hits everything on the way up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, believe me. Oh yeah.
And then you get, well, I don't understand why you're so lazy.
Oh, this is
I've
what
heard
annoys
that
me. I'm
one.
glad you brought this up because people assume with me, I've been accused of this even on live streams. If I don't make eye contact or I decide to turn my camera off because I've got so overwhelmed and overstimulated, people go, "Oh, that's just Gemma being lazy. She can't be bothered to have her camera on." I'm like, no, it's not about being lazy. It's the fact that I've had to make eye contact with people on and off during my day. I've been outside and I've had people stare at me, or I've been at meetings where I've had to make contact with people, so I've had no choice but to be face to face with people. I just want to have a breather. I want to be able to go, oh, because all day I've been in front of people and people are like, oh, stop being so dramatic, Gemma. It can't be that bad. I'm like, seriously? You have no idea what it's like to be in front of strangers who look at you like you're some kind of dumbass, or they think you're some kind of lazy person because, oh, why won't you make eye contact with me? Oh, why can't you look at me when I'm talking to you? And I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, Gemma, I got the best response for that one. Because I used to do that too. I used to close my eyes when I talked, and they're like, well, why don't you look at me? And Dad's brought it up to me. You're not looking at me. If you ever notice, I kind of look cross-eyed. My camera's over here.
Yeah, I do too.
I look at my screen. I don't look at my camera. I look at my screen. And I'll get, well, you're not interacting with me because you're not looking at me. Now, all but Dad, again, all but Dad, my normal response is, I look at you, but you're too fucking ugly and you hurt my eyes. They shut up real fucking quick. Like, literally, that is the bestest because they're like, well, you're not looking at me. You're not looking at me. Bitch, I don't want to look at you. You're hurting my eyes.
Right, this is the thing. Like, on in my comment section, you've probably seen it. Like on my videos, sometimes like people will leave me a comment saying, "Oh, we wish you look at the camera more," or we wish we could see more of your smile, or and I'm like, I am smiling. I am looking at my screen. I am interacting with you guys. It's a video. It's me recording on my camera, recording to my screen, and people are like, "Oh, well, how about you try and sit up more?" I'm like, stop confronting me all the time. Like, my videos should be enough what I do. I take at least a week to do one video because I have to go through what I wear, the topic, the research, how I'm going to appear on the camera. Like, I want to make sure I'm ready for people, and even the most tiniest little comment like that can really upset me because I put so much effort into and heart into my videos that I'm so passionate about them. And people are like, oh, well, we wish you'd do better eye contact, or we wish you would sit up more straight. And I'm like,
$50 in my PayPal and I will look at you. $50 in my PayPal and I'll look at you. Seriously.
Yeah.
Put it in your comment section or in your little description box. You want me to look at you, $50. You want me to smile, it is $200 per smile. They will shut the fuck up real quick. Yeah. Don't let those people irritate you. Because what it is they think a lot as a lot of neurodivergent. Okay, you're neurodivergent. I'm a mild neurodivergent.
Yeah, well, you are neurodivergent.
Those normie people,
because you have fibros, so technically that is a neurodiverse condition.
Right. Plus, I have ADHD, ODD, OCD. um, aggressive behavior disorder, destructive behavior disorder, all on top of all of that. So, yes, you take a normal thinking person
Yeah.
and they don't think like we do. So
No.
when you say, I'm going to start charging you, they shut the fuck up. It's not about the money. It's
No, it's not.
literally simply, I'm tired of you coming to my channel and saying it and then being like, okay, well, here you go. OCD,
Yeah.
ADD, HD, and several other things are often combinations in ASD people. What is ASD people?
So that comment means people with autism spectrum disorder. It's known as ASD for short. But
Oh, Daniel, I've
yeah.
literally been told by. Okay, so break this down into when I was 12, 13, 14, whatever. When I was in a group home, I got told, you know what, Abraxas, $120 in my fucking PayPal and I'll look at you. Um, when I was in a group home, I got told I was on the spectrum. Now,
Yeah.
the only reason that I don't go by that diagnosis is because of the simple fact that it was
Yeah.
a group home and then they sent me to a foster home and I had to do a bunch of therapy and the therapist even said, why don't you look at me when you're talking to me?
Oh, that is so annoying.
And it's like, because I don't want to see your ugly face while you're being rude. Nope, I'm not being rude. You're
No,
being an
you're not.
asshole. I don't want to look at you because I don't know you. I don't trust you. First and foremost, you can ask Abraxas. Most of
But
the
this is the
time,
thing, like,
unless I'm looking up at you like this, most of the time, I'm staring off, I'm moving my head, I'm doing all of this. When I
right,
met
yeah,
Abraxas, that's what I did. Or when he said, hey, you're on camera, what did I do?
yeah,
Fuck you. And
yeah,
Abraxas was a big part of getting over being on camera because for the longest part, I would never show myself on camera.
yeah.
And I always blamed it on body dysmorphia because, yes, I have that where I do
Ooh,
not like.
this is an interesting topic. Yeah.
Right, a lot of people with
Body
mental
dysmorphia
disorders.
is a big topic within the autism community as well. Like a lot of people with ASD, autism, Asperger's, if you want to call it that, have a lot of body dysmorphia issues. Like for me, I've always been really critical of my own image. I've always been very low confidence. Someone says to me, "Oh, Gemma, you're really pretty," which I know you've said to me before, and I know at Braxis and a few other people said it to me.
Oh, you're
I
fucking
can take
gorgeous,
it.
baby.
I can take it as a comment in my head and go, "Oh, woohoo! They're being really nice about me," but my brain doesn't process that at first. I have to literally process it and then go, "Oh, okay, they're nice. They make me feel good," but in my head, it's like, "Oh, well, do they really
Why
mean
the
that?"
fuck you lying to me? That's what goes through my head. They'll be like, oh, you're gorgeous, honey. Yeah, says the fucking friend that doesn't want to fuck you. Or the people that are like, it's not about your size, it's about your heart. Says everybody to the ugly friends. Leave me alone. I know I'm ugly. I know I'm fat, but guess what? I'm me. And they're like, stop putting yourself down now. It's like, I'm not.
We're not. We're not.
I
Exactly. This
look
is
in
the
the
thing.
fucking mirror and I see, now you guys see this, right?
Yeah, you see what's on the
I
outside. You
see
don't see how we see it.
I see somebody that literally Tammy Slayton at 1,000 pounds. That's what I see.
Yeah, this is the thing. Me and Froggy see ourselves in a different way compared to everyone else. Like people might say to me and Froggy, "Oh, you're beautiful, you're pretty, you're stunning, you're this, you're that," but me and Froggy don't see it that way. I see it as in, are you trying to trigger me? Are you trying to be offensive? Are you trying to get on my bad side? Then I think, oh well, guess what? If you're going to throw it at me, I'm going to throw it back at you. And I then will be like, oh, yeah, whatever, screw you, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're that, you're that, you're that. And people are like, huh? what? Why would you say that? And I'm like, because you said it to me. They're like, no, Gemma, we didn't. And I
then
almost
you're like,
take
no,
it as a negative.
I swear to God, I heard that come. And they're like, no, I never said that. And that's the thing. I did not know body dysmorphia was part of it because a lot of
Yeah.
people. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right here, right now. A lot of people take all of the things I have, and they individually treat them because they don't want you to know that you have autism. Because people think autism is bad. I, on the other hand, look at myself now that I know body. I have been told by therapists, whether it be in a group home or a foster home, that I am on the spectrum. That I trust you, Brexis. Shut up. But
Still wind him fully up, Chris.
but now that I know that a lot of the things that I do have, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. Is on the spectrum. I'm definitely going to go talk to a therapist and see if I can get diagnosed properly this time from, a therapist I can trust.
Yeah, you just need to make sure that you get a therapist that is trained in autism because unfortunately, not just in the US, not just in Canada, not just here in the UK where I'm at, but there is a lot of therapists, unfortunately, who think they know about autism or autism assessments and autism spectrum disorders. They don't. You need to find a licensed professional who has training in autism because I went through the system for 4 years and I saw 3 different therapists before the one who actually diagnosed me who claimed they knew about me or knew about my condition and didn't. And that's why I went down the mental health route in the end, because my anxiety and my self-harm attempts, which I'm not glorifying self-harm, let's put that out there right now. Please, 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 if you get in a desperate situation that I was, go and seek help earlier than what I did, because I nearly got myself sectioned because I was pulling my hair out, making myself have bald patches. I was scratching my arms up. Please go and reach out to a professional. Do not leave it and sit in silence, because trust me, you will suffer like I did, and it's not right. It's not okay. I'm not glorifying that at all. So please go and get help. I can't stress that enough, because otherwise it's going to make you feel awful.
Yeah, it's going to take me 2 years to get diagnosed. My doctor will send me to somebody who is specialized in diagnosing. I
Right,
already
Daniel.
am
Exactly.
on
That's what I said. Yeah.
I'm on the waiting list. I'm gonna pin that here in a second. First, I have a Braxis up that says people need to look at their inner beauty. Here's the issue.
Yes, Chris.
You take somebody like me. I don't see inner beauty. You could ask Chris. I'm always willing to help people.
Yeah.
If I don't have the money, I'm willing to help in other ways. Oh, you need a ride? Let me go. Chris's wife is training both of the puppies to be service dogs for people who are legally blind.
Oh, wow.
But you take somebody like me, I don't see inner beauty. What I cannot physically see the inner beauty. I see myself.
Right.
I see what's on the outside. I can't see what's on the inside. And let me tell you, if I could, it's probably full of fat and blockages, because Tanya does not eat the healthiest, because right now she's on a garlic bread kick. That's another thing. Like
I can tell you,
if I get on a certain food, if I get on a certain food, like I taste the food and I really like it, like I'm forcing myself to vape this one. But this one is the one I really want. And I'm trying to use the one that I don't want first.
Yeah. Well, talking about food, that's a good topic to discuss, because a lot of people with autism, talking of food, we are very sensitive to certain smells and we have certain repetitive behaviors when it comes to food. I am very much a repetitive person. I will hold my hand up to that. I'm very much about, I eat the same pasta meals. I will eat, uh, like if I like pizza, it will be either Hawaiian or margarita because they're my favourites and I know they're safe, they taste good. I drink the same drink, so if it's soda, it'll be Coca-Cola or lemonade because they're my favourite sodas. Or if I like a hot drink, it'll be a hot chocolate with a little sprinkle of either like Bailey's, which is an alcoholic drink here in the UK, or I'll put extra chocolate, actual little bits of chocolate into it. And people are like, Gemma, that's really unhealthy. Like you're putting your body at risk for what? And I'm like, I'm not really putting that at risk. It's safe foods. They're tasty. They're quick. They're easy. And I want something that's quick. I'm not going to stand at my oven and cook for half an hour if I can cook something in 15 minutes. Bang it in the oven, put the timer on, sit down on my couch, go back into the kitchen, get it out, eat. And it's done.
Luckily, I have Roy, and Roy gets paid to cook my meals. So that's a good thing. Because literally, I'm the same way. I will make mac and cheese. Because you stand there, it takes 5 minutes. If it takes longer than 20 minutes, I'm not cooking. Right. The only thing I will cook by scratch is homemade pizza, and then I'm down and out for 3 days. So I don't make that a lot. But I didn't know that was, see, again, this is how autism affects people, because I didn't know that was part of a thing where you like have to have like certain foods. You get,
like for me, it's very much about safety and
See, and like, I did not know that.
Yeah, like Daniel's saying, like texture issues are a big thing regarding food and ASD. Yeah, the brain associates the feeling as negative and then it rejects it. So, like, I went to Daniel. This is a good thing that you said that because I went to the pub about 2-3 weeks ago with my dad, and it was a new pub, and they've got this new menu. Never been there, and my dad's like, right, okay, Gemma, this is the menu. This is what they've got. And they only had like 1 or 2 things that I liked. And the first choice was a classic roast dinner, which is like either your chicken, your roast beef, pork, or vegan. And I was like, okay. And when it came dished up, they'd put all these extra vegetables on it that I know I don't like. And because I then freaked because I couldn't take them off because they'd already got put into my into the gravy, I had to literally ask for a fresh plate of food. I literally was like, nope, can't touch it, can't eat it, can't smell it, don't want it. And my dad had to be like, oh, I'm really sorry, but, you know, my daughter's autistic. We did tell you that she can't have things touching. It has to be all separate and blah, 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 blah. And the man was like, why? Why can't she see it as one thing? My dad's like, no, we told you when she came in, she can't do that. Now you made her feel anxious, and now she's probably not likely to eat because she feels that you're going to judge her because of what she's done. And I had to sit there and literally make sure that everything was in separate plates. And I'm like, right, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. My drink's over here. And people must have thought I was a right nut job because I sat there and had a full panic meltdown.
Right. And see, and I'm not one that has to have them on separate plates at all. But let me tell you, there is very few foods I will love mixed together. If it comes together like beef stew, great. I cannot have soggy food. If my bread gets soggy, I will feed it to my dogs. Yesterday, and I'm kind of glad I gave my son the breadsticks. My soda spilled. Had my breadsticks and my soda spilled on some of them. Not all of them, some of them. I pulled them off and gave them to my son. I know he'll eat them. But if it's soggy, I can't eat it. If it's spicy, I cannot eat it. If I look down and I think I see snot, I will go to the bathroom gagging. which is a whole nother issue because Froggy, what's that disease where you're petrified of throwing up?
Oh gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know people have it. I know many people in my family who are like afraid
Yeah.
of throwing up or
I
seeing vomit and stuff.
oh, I can look at vomit. Nope, not bulimia. That's
No,
actually a
bulimia is
food
a
eating
completely different
disorder.
disorder, Daniel.
Exactly, Blowhole. Blowhole is one of the most amazing men I have ever met. His wife, he is in a wheelchair,
Oh
paralyzed
wow, okay.
from the waist down, and he takes care of her while working a full time job. So, Blowhole is one of the most amazing men I have ever met. He does it
Oh,
without
that's
even
amazing. Well done. A lot of people
batting an
probably
eye.
wouldn't do what you do. Taking care of someone that is physically disabled in a wheelchair like that is really admirable because
It's not even physically in a wheelchair. I have seen so many people like Roy. He is my caregiver because he takes care of me with my
yeah,
diseases that I have. Um, yeah, that one. Emtopia.
emetophobia, I think it's
Yeah,
pronounced as.
emetophobia.
Yeah,
That one. I have that. So me throwing up, I'll just sit there and gag, especially if I'm in public. Unless I'm really sick, and that's how you know I'm really sick because I ain't afraid to throw up if I'm really sick. But
yeah,
I know a lot of people, especially caregivers of autism and older autism people, and younger, I guess. But if a lot of caregivers, and I'll put it that way, they'll go online and they'll just sit there and bash the people that they're taking care of, even though some of them are supposed to actually love them, and they're like, he's such a burden. She's a pain in my ass, always needing things, and it's like, I bet you $5 if you were on the other end, you'd fucking really hate it. Well, I'm
right,
not. I'm not on that end, and it's like, you know what? I can fucking make you on that end.
right.
That's my favorite thing. My son will be like, Mom, I don't understand. Why can't you walk? So one day I decided, okay, you can't understand here. And I'm like, Jordan, you want to see why I can't walk? He goes, yeah, sure. I took a baseball bat, wrapped, tied it to both of his legs. I'm
Oh,
like, walk. He goes, I can't. I go, walk. He goes, I can't. I said, there's your fucking point. You can't walk with the baseball bat behind your legs because you can't bend your legs properly. It hurts.
right.
You can't get the friction you're supposed to. Somebody who has a physical disability, arthritis, anything along those lines where they cannot physically move their body the way they're supposed to, it hurts. And he goes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Mom. And he started up with, Mom, I don't understand why you're not getting up. Normally you're getting up. Why ain't you getting up? My feet hurt. Well, so do mine. I was walking all day. Okay, come here, buddy. What are we going to do? I'm like, walk on these Legos. He goes, no, that hurts. I'm like, oh, so you won't walk on Legos because they hurt, but I'm supposed to get up and walk on my feet because they hurt. Well, it's not the same. Yes, it is the same to me.
yes, it is.
And he's like, well, I don't understand. And it's like, exactly, you don't understand because you're not there. And that's the main freaking thing with anybody with a mental disorder, ASD, full
Yeah,
blown fucking autism. Um, you are amazing, Abraxas. Uh, bipolar, anything along those lines. Mental or physical disease, you don't understand what those people are going through. You
no,
could tell somebody who's depressed to smile, and it's not gonna meet their eyes. Why? Because they're depressed. Find out what's going on. Talk to them. You see
Right.
somebody limping. Hey, do you need help? What's going on?
Right.
I'm fine. I have fibromyalgia. I do this all the time. Okay, well, is there anything that I can do to help? Not really. I just need to get home. That's all.
Right.
There
Daniel
was
makes a
this
good, a
one
good.
woman following her son around the house saying she wanted to document for others. He kept escalating. I had to tell her to turn the camera off because it was triggering him. That fucking pisses me off. There is a lady,
Yeah,
and
people do that.
there is a lady on TikTok, and I fucking love her. She has 3 autistic boys. 3.
Yeah.
And not once does she follow around and document what it's like to live with autism. She'll tell you about it, but she won't.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to follow you around. No, if you want to fucking talk to somebody who has autism to find out, talk to them like I am with Gemma.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Like, I'm an open book. Like, I love talking to people about it because, again, female autism, unfortunately, is very stereotyped. And because the assumption is that autism only affects men and boys, it drives me nuts because clearly I'm an autistic female. Clearly, I'm autistic. I have symptoms with my behavior. I'm very much what my psychologist and psychiatrist called me. If I was diagnosed back in my earlier years, I would have been identified as the classic autistic kid. And they basically said I would have been rated as more severe than I am now, but I'm still rated as severe. So people say,
Right.
when they look at me and go, "Oh, you, autism, you, what?" And they look at me like I'm some kind of idiot. And I'm like, no, go educate yourself, please. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of little child who's in a temper tantrum, because I'm not.
Okay, so you brought up a very good point, and this is where I really get confused because now you said back in the old days when they had full blown autism. I know Asperger's is part of autism. My
Yes.
nephew, he
Yeah.
has Asperger's syndrome. Now, me and him have gone rounds, and I've told him many times, I don't care what fucking mental disease you have. Don't fucking
Right.
touch my daughter. But different story for a different day. If you guys want to hear that one, I'll tell you later.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so he has Asperger's. A lot of people are
Yeah.
saying that is he's high functioning Asperger's. Now they're saying that Asperger's is high functioning autism. So if you have high functioning Asperger's back in the day, would you have high functioning
Yeah.
autism, or would you just be on the spectrum of autism?
So basically, what that has changed now. So since the DSM 5 came out, which I believe was 3 years ago, it used to be known as Asperger's syndrome, high functioning autism, and autism spectrum condition, or autism spectrum disorder. So it used to be known as 3 different things. But now, because the American Psychiatric Association and the UK British Psychological Association come together and agreed that autism needed to be renamed. So now it's one big umbrella called the Autism Spectrum Disorder umbrella. So it's basically everything to do with autism is one label, rather than I was actually labeled as high functioning Asperger's. So I have high functioning Asperger's, but now it's known clinically as autism spectrum disorder. So it's all labelled under one box. Yes, Daniel, you just basically said what I said in multiple sentences.
Okay,
When
so there's 2 things that I actually need to post from Daniel. I fucking love you, Daniel. You are very smart. The reason the statistics seem skewed, and comes across that boys have higher rates of autism than girls is because females on the
yeah,
spectrum are usually better at masking it and misdiagnosing. Now,
Yep.
Question on that one.
Oh
Why
yeah, I have a story to tell you on that.
why is it we're better at masking it than men? Is it because
Because us women, ladies, girls, what we do is what we call is high masking. So basically, I've masked for so much of my life up until my diagnosis that the professionals who I saw wouldn't believe that I was autistic because I presented too well. I was chatty. I functioned. I dressed well. I was able to give examples of how I can interact with people. And they're like, well, Gemma does eye contact limited, but yes, she does it. She's social, yes, limited, but she does it. Yes, she can dress well, but yeah, she has help with picking her outfits and her shoes and everything else. But yet she still functions. So they're like, oh, functioning good, visually good, mentally good, therefore she's got no struggle. And my mum's like, no, 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 that's not accurate because what you see of Gemma when she's on her own is one thing, but when she's with others like my mum, my dad, my aunt, who actually helped me get diagnosed, they see all the mental health side of me. They see the anxiety, the chronic depression, the emotional mood swings. They see the anger that I have, but I don't show that on my channel because I don't want to show you the bad side of autism all the time. I want to show you the good bits that I can do, the independence. I want to show you me having fun. I don't want to show you the bits where I'm screaming in pain and I'm crying and I'm smashing stuff up and I'm getting to such a point where I'm like, you know what? Everyone fuck off. Fuck you, fuck off, leave me alone, don't want to talk to you, don't want to know you, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, screw you, don't care what happens to you, go away. I don't want to show
so
that because people
fucking
like,
me, including to my dogs.
and like
I
people that,
thought I was the
and then
only
when they
one.
see that in me, like my parents, like my dad especially, he's seen them all blunt at me about it, and I'm like, you know what, Dad, I'm not being disrespectful to you, I'm trying not to be, but sometimes you are a dick, and when you're a dick, you really wind me up, and I'm like, go away, don't get in my face, piss off.
Go away, leave me the fuck
and,
alone.
and I literally scream and shout at people, and people are like, oh, Gemma's having a temper tantrum.
I'm
No.
gonna show you a fucking temper
Temper tantrum,
tantrum.
right? Let's clarify this right now. Temper tantrum for a lot of people is when a child or adult will throw their weight around, they'll scream, they'll cuss, they'll yell, they'll headbutt, bite people,
Karens of the
whatever. An
world.
autistic meltdown, an autistic shutdown, a verbal shutdown, if you like, will be the fact I will literally go from being like calm like this now to also I'll be like tick 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 tick, and this one little trigger, someone will push me. That one little trigger will be like, you know what? You're in my warpath. You've triggered me. Fuck you. And then my body's just like, oh, I'm going to make you even more screwed now. It's not just going to be the fuck you, the fuck off, the piss off, the I'm going to hit you threats. I'm going to post something on social media that's nasty. Not that I've done that recently, but hey ho. And people are like, oh, you can't act like that. You can't be like that. And I'm like, I'm telling you now, fuck off. Get out of my space. Leave me alone. If you don't, you're going to be sorry because the next thing I'm going to do is vile. You've been warned.
That you brought up a great point. You got these adults that are running around screaming, I'm autistic. You can't do that. I had known my rights. When they get pulled over by the police officer and they get told, hey,
oh boy,
you
that's
were
a different
speeding.
story. Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's, oh, I didn't know I was speeding. And they're just going on and on and on. And then all of a sudden they throw out the autistic card or they throw out some mental disability.
Yeah.
Now, for all the people that I know who have autism or Asperger's, even if they drive, they get pulled over by the police officers. They're going to ask what they did wrong. They're going to, when the person comes up and says, hey, you were doing 55 in a 6 or 45, they're going to be like, oh shit, I didn't know. I'm sorry, my bad. They're not going to fly off the handle. Then
No,
they're going to be like, now, is there a reason you were doing that fast? I was in a manic episode. I'm really sorry, officer. I probably shouldn't have been driving. Let me pull over and calm down. 9 chances out of 10, that driver is literally going to look at you and be like, okay, what do you need?
right.
Because they're trained to deal with autistic people. I have seen cops literally, they're going to arrest somebody and somebody else steps up and is like, hey, he's autistic, he don't like being touched. Do you know what the officers did?
But
They said, okay, buddy, here's what's going to happen. We need you to calm down. We're going to go put you in the back seat of the cruiser. They'll take
right.
him, put him in the back seat of the cruiser, make sure the AC's on. 9 chances out of 10, they're going to be like, do you need music? Because I know a lot, fuck, music calms me down.
Yeah, I love music. Yeah.
And they're going to work with you if you're autistic. All of these people that are throwing out all of these mental illnesses, whether they have them or not. And there is a lady in UK who, I can't remember her name. Alpha. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think,
Um,
yeah.
she's on TikTok, but first it was I'm autistic, or first it was I have Tourette's. Then it was, oh, I'm autistic. I don't know better. Then it was some other shit down the street. Just a bunch of different things. And it's like, you're sitting here throwing around all of these diseases where people who actually have to suffer with them, you know,
Yeah.
just so that way you don't have to be accountable for your actions. How
This is the thing.
fucked up are you?
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is why it makes me really annoyed when people do that, because people like me who generally are diagnosed with it, who actually do live with it every day and actually are affected by it every day, it really agitates me, because when I go out in public and I have to say, look, there's something that you need to know about me, that I'm autistic, people look at me, they go, yeah, okay. So you're one of these people who are trying to play the autism card, or you're trying to play the disability card. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to play it. I am autistic.
And that's because you
And
mask it so well.
yeah,
Daniel said there was an autistic boy in my state who was having a meltdown. He was 10 or so. They cuffed him, and the school resource officer pinned him on the ground. His parents did not do enough for
yeah,
him. I will tell you that right here, right now. My son is not autistic. My son is schizophrenic. Okay. He might be autistic.
yeah,
We don't know. We know for sure he is schizophrenic. Okay. This child
yeah,
is allowed to go up to the teachers, say, hey, I'm aggravated. I'm going to go take a 10-minute walk around the school. Guess what? They have to let him out of that
yeah,
class so he can take a walk around that school. I'm having a bad day. I can't stay up. I'm
yeah,
exhausted. They have to put him in the special room at a special ed class, put him in a fucking bean chair, and just let him sleep until he is ready to face the fucking world. They have toys that he can fidget with at his school.
yeah.
I'm getting to that one, Daniel. Hold
That's
on.
crazy, Daniel. That's ridiculous.
Do you know what started all of my son's IEP fucking recommendations? He was getting bullied at school, so he brought a knife to school and pulled it out on somebody and put it to their throat and said, you fuck with me again, I'll kill you. I said, maybe you
Okay.
should do something about the bullying. Well, your son needs to
Well,
learn
yeah,
not to, your son needs to learn how to maintain his anger. I said, would you like his fucking diagnoses? Again, no, he does not. You need to maintain your bullying. They're like,
Yeah,
well,
this
we're
is the
trying,
thing.
but I'm like, okay, fine. You want him to control his anger. You want him to not be a distraction. You want him to fucking be a social part of the school, but you don't want to accommodate him towards bullies. Fine. My son will be taking a 10-minute break every half hour. He will be going in and out. My son will
Yeah,
be allowed fidget toys at his desk. You will provide them.
yeah,
My son will have transportation to and from school, and you will provide it. My son will have this, and you will provide it. Well, we can't do that. No, you're going to fucking do that. Don't make me get the fucking
yeah,
board of directors and a goddamn lawyer, because at the end of the day, my son's going to come out a hell of a lot richer than you are.
yeah,
And they go, okay, ma'am, we will get it. So his IEP, and I'm not even kidding you, his IEP is 29 pages long of
wow, okay,
stipulations that my son is allowed to do, because I fought so fucking hard for him. That is what pisses me off about all of these people that are running around saying, my kid's this, my kid's that, but they're not on an IEP. They're not fighting their fucking ass off. They're not getting legal involved. If your son or daughter has autism, your son or daughter has a mental fucking illness, a physical fucking illness, you fight tooth and nail until that fucking kid's accommodations are met, because it
yep,
is state law in any 50 states. I don't know about across the borders or across the waters or any other border, that if your son or daughter needs an accommodation, the school is to provide it. The reason that my son
yeah,
has transportation to and from school, as we all know, Froggy is a broke ass hoe. Okay? I think I have negative $50 in my bank account. I looked at him and said, and I was in Iowa. I did not have a car. I didn't even have my license until 3 years ago in Iowa. I looked at him and said, you know what? I don't have a ride to and from school. We live 4 blocks away from the school. I am
yeah,
physically disabled. I cannot make sure he gets there. There's nobody else that can make sure my son gets to that school. He is schizophrenic. He lives in his own goddamn world. He could take off.
right,
Again, they made their accommodations. Still to this day, my son is 16 years old, rides the school bus, and we live less than a mile and a half away from the school. They pick him up and drop him off every morning because it's in his IEP. When he has to go to DEAP, they have to come to my fucking house and pick
yeah.
him up, not meet him at the bus stop a mile away.
Right, this is the thing. We have similar things here in the UK like that with regards to school buses and what they call passenger assistant vehicles, but unfortunately that has to be, like you say, in the IEP or the student statement. Otherwise, you won't get it, and it can take years to get that. Like I know a case here in the UK that's still going through the system at the moment. That a person in my hometown has been trying to fight for transport for her daughter for the last 8 years, because she's now about to go into high school and she needs transport to get to high school. And they are basically saying because she's not entitled to transport for high school, she'll have to commute on a normal bus, and she can't. She's autistic. She will not cope on the mainstream bus. She has to get this special transport that the school have been giving her. And they said that basically, if she wants special assistance for high school, her parents going to have to do all the forms again, all the procedure again, and it's ridiculous. It should be a carry-on thing, but it's not.
It's
Here
a
they
kid.
once it's
Here in the
ridiculous.
United States, it is a carry-on thing. He's had the same fucking IEP since he was 7 years old.
Oh, you're lucky it doesn't work like that here, unfortunately.
Uh, they say that's the thing. They say that Europe schools are better, which I 100 fucking percent agree, and they're free. Here,
Well,
our free
yes
schools
and
are
no.
shit.
I wouldn't say our school's necessarily better. It's just that our state schools are pretty much, like say, they're free. They don't charge for students to go into them, but it's the school system is broken because here, if you have a disability or a mental health issue in the state in the mainstream school, you will suffer to get any kind of help, and that sucks because in America and Canada, from what I'm aware of, you guys are so much more inclusive and aware of it, and on top of it, that's where we fail because we're not. The UK still sees disability as a burden or a bad thing, and it shouldn't be that way. Unfortunately, you guys are more freeing of that, whereas we're not.
Right. And here we get my son has this. Well, where's his diagnosis? Here's his diagnosis. Okay, here you go. What does he need? And Special
Yeah,
Olympics and everything else. Literally, my son has every fucking thing you can name
yeah,
under the sun. And the reason my son has that is because, once again, I fought tooth and nail. I fought therapists. I fought doctors. Well, your son seems normal. Yeah, he can't talk. He can't talk at 4 fucking years old, and you're telling me he's normal. Okay. Well, that's because you guys give him everything he wants. Hmm.
no,
No.
it's not about that.
Nope.
It's
That's
about
not.
the fact he's non-verbal. That means that he cannot communicate because his brain doesn't communicate to his mouth, which means then he has to communicate in other ways similar to people with autism. It's the fact that when people like me go non-verbal, Froggy knows, she's seen it on me with a panel. Sometimes if someone says
She
something
just.
to me,
Doop.
triggers me, or I can't cope with, I either disappear or I'll mute myself. And there's been times where Froggy's like, I know Gemma's going to do it. She's going to either go or she's going to put herself on mute. And like the other
there's
day, I was on
there's
Scott's
times
panel.
like yeah, there's times I'm sitting here and we're just having a conversation, and all of a sudden you're out the fucking door, and I'm like, there goes Gemma. Is she okay?
Yeah, it's like the other day, I was on Scott's panel and someone said something to me in the chat, and I luckily only mute myself. It's why I didn't leave his chat, the stream. But and someone said something to me about, if you're that autistic, then why are you on a panel? And that really got to me in my head. I'm like,
Oh,
how many times do I have
you're
to
not
explain
allowed to
this?
be autistic and on a panel. Great. So let's see here. Let's run through the diagnoses that 90% of the people who are on social media have. We have autism, we have social anxiety. Did you know that one?
Yes,
90%
I
of the
have it. Yeah,
people who are on social media have a form of social anxiety. The reason they're on social media is because they don't have
yep.
to talk to
My
people.
diagnosis, I have high functioning Asperger's. I have social anxiety disorder, and they now say I might have OCD, but that's not diagnosed as of yet.
Roy has OCD, and I fucking want to shoot him because he has a thing where everything goes in a place. Literally, it got to the point where if you cleaned up his spot, he was a dick for 3 days
Yeah,
because everything has a spot. It might not be clean, but it has his
yeah,
fucking spot. So whenever you
right,
guys see, like, there's a video where literally I showed my living room showing the puppies. It was not the cleanest. That is Roy's spot. The boxes in the corner, those are where they're supposed to be. This box of cigarette ashes underneath the coffee table. I don't know why he has them. He gets tobacco, he gets tubes, he makes his own cigarettes. He still has boxes of where he puts his cigarette butts. I don't know why. It became a habit, and that's just how it is. I allow
yeah,
him to have it. But again, it's everything has to be in its spot. And if you come in and you fuck up his shit, add more shit to it, it becomes an overwhelming process. I
right,
had
yeah,
to argue this last night with people who didn't know squat. I said a parent knows when something is wrong with their child, regardless. Parents who didn't get their son diagnosed until 15. Um,
Well,
the
Daniel, I can
here
add it onto that. Daniel, as someone with ASD myself, I wasn't diagnosed until my 20s. So I'm now in my 30s. I'm 36 this year. So I got diagnosed a lot later than a standard person. And when people say, they say things like, "Oh, how would you know they're autistic?" Or like, I've had people say to me, "Oh, look at Gemma. Like, tell me one thing about Gemma that you think you know." And 90, I say between 90 to 92% of the time, I get, "Oh, well, I wouldn't think she's autistic," and it's the one thing that always gets said about me every single time someone asks a question about me, or they'll say, "Oh, well, Gemma doesn't act autistic," and I'm just like, "That's the first thing you say about me. Like, you've not even got to know me. The first thing is you say to me, "Oh, well, she doesn't." I'm like, "Really? Come on, people."
I'm here. I'm just trying to get Roy's attention.
No worries, you're good. You're good, no worries. Because if a child hasn't reached certain milestone, turn a toddler. Let's see. Exactly, Daniel. This is the thing. Like with me, there wasn't no autism service here in the UK until 2012. I wasn't assessed until 2013, and I got diagnosed in the middle of 2014. So, yeah, it took a year, well, just under 2 years to get diagnosed. I was assessed at the end of 2012 and diagnosed in 2014. So it took about just under 2 years for a diagnosis.
I knew
I
something
that I
was
got
wrong
at the
with my
time.
son when a fucking tag bothered him. You know the tags on the back of your clothes? He was 2.5 years old, sitting out at my dad's house, riding his little trike.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden, the tag just rubbed wrong. And for fucking
yeah,
2.5 hours, he screamed bloody murder. We're ripping his shirt off, his pants off, because we literally thought there was a bee in his clothes. And he's just
okay, yeah,
screaming. Even after the shirt was off, he was screaming because we put a different shirt on that had a tag. And all of a sudden, he's just having a fucking conniption. And it's like, what the fuck? My dad goes, go get him tested. So I started the testing. I'm like, he's in special therapy already because at the age of, Wix set him up because at the age of 6 months old, he wasn't rolling over yet. At a
yeah,
year, he wasn't walking. 9 months, he wasn't crawling. So he was way behind. They're like, oh, he's just MR.
yeah,
You've all met my children. Daniel, I don't know if you've been on this channel, but my son is in a lot of my videos. That kid never shuts up
yeah.
now.
I've seen your son. Yeah, yeah.
He runs around the house without clothes on. I'm always shutting my camera off because he don't. Dead of winter, 50 fucking degrees in the house. He is pulling his shirt up because he don't like clothes. He is 16,
Yeah,
still
this
don't
is the
like
thing.
clothes.
Like with people with mental health and disabilities like autism and stuff, like Daniel said, like some textures can be like scratchy. Like for me, for example, like I'm wearing a dress right now, but this dress is like what 3 4 years old. I still love it. It's old, it's getting tatty, but I love it. But the first thing I do is when I buy new items, I will rip the tags off. That's the first thing that gets done before it gets anywhere near my skin.
I just buy tagless
I would
now.
get my scissors, cut the tag, and any like security tags. Or I'm like bin, and then I wash the item. Like I've got these new items here behind me. Like today, I've got these new shoes delivered in the mail, and one of my new Elvis blazers, my little pink blazer. But I need to cut all the tags off because all the tags are still on them. So before I even put these near my skin, they'll get washed and all the tags will be removed before they even get anywhere near me because my skin will burn otherwise. And people go, don't be silly, Gemma. Your skin won't burn. I'm like, yes, it will.
Yeah,
Because
well,
it's not usual to me if I don't do that because my skin will go, oh, this doesn't feel good. I'm going to make you itch or I'm going to make you scratch till you bleed. And literally, there's been times where I've worn new t-shirts and new hoodies on panels and I'm sitting there going like this. And people are like, what the hell is Gemma doing? Why is she going like this? Like, why is she scratching? Or there'll be times where I'm scratching my shoulder and I'm like, and people are like, Gemma, what the hell? And I'm like, I seriously, my skin is burning. Like, I can sit here and be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my
I
God.
could
And
not see Gemma wearing that. If you're going full on Elvis mode, you need a jumpsuit with sequins.
oh, Daniel, talking of that's funny you say that, Daniel, because I'm actually in contact with my local Elvis tribute. I'm actually seeing him tomorrow. And he has got a friend who makes his outfits for him, and he's offered to do me a female version. And I'm actually in talks with him about the materials and stuff because obviously my skin, I can't just have a standard jumpsuit. It needs to
Right.
be
A
something
certain
that's
material
easy to get
with.
on, easy to get off, and yeah. So that there it is coming, and when it does get
How
finished,
are you going to
and
handle the sequences?
that's the thing that I'm not looking forward to. But I think if I can tolerate that little bit of it, which I know is the main pattern of it, then I guess I'll cope with it, I'll adjust to it. But for me, it's more the material. Like, I need something that's not going to cling tight to me. Like, I need something that I can move around in and not feel like I'm going to be
Ask her to
suffocating.
do a soft sequence. They make them.
Oh, yeah, that might be an option. Yeah. So everything you see
Because
me in, like everything I wear, is actually no tags, no buttons, because I can't stand them. It literally drives me crazy.
entertain the chat for 3.5 seconds. I gotta let my
Okay,
dog in.
okay. But yeah, Daniel, you will see a jumpsuit very soon on the channel. There will be another Elvis haul coming up if you'll subscribe to me. I do have some Elvis clothing hauls on my channel already. There's Elvis t-shirts, Elvis hoodies. There is Elvis belts, waistcoats,
Yeah, my chair makes noises.
necklaces. So if you do like Elvis stuff, I do actually have behind me over here where my music is. I do have a pile of Elvis CDs that I listen to on my hi-fi player. So there's a lot of time I'm sitting here if I'm not on streams or I'm waiting for a stream to start. I might be playing my Elvis music, and all of a sudden my notifications feed comes up, and they're like, "Oh, it will say something like, say for instance, Froggy's
Today.
live, live, or Lunatic Dad's live, or someone that I care about is live." I'm like, "Oh, stop that music!" Boom, come onto my laptop, and then I do that. So in between, I have like music and stuff playing. So
Now, you and I discussed this earlier because I brought it up because my daughter brought it up and I was thinking about getting them, but I really have an issue with things in my ears.
yeah,
And you said there was something different. What I'm talking about is looped earplugs. They're made specifically enough so that way you can
yes,
drown out the background, but you can still hear people. So they're totally different than regular earplugs because regular earplugs are made so you don't hear even people.
yeah,
They're made so when you go night night, you don't hear shit if you're a light sleeper. These ones,
yeah,
but as you said, there's ones that go up over them.
yeah.
Um, what kind are they? Are they like these ones?
Yeah, so basically, these aren't loop ones, but these are my Sony over ear headphones that I wear a lot. So like you can get loop ones that are like this, the overhead ones, because I like the padding on the ears because I've got really sensitive ears. So for me, I need something that's not going to put pressure on my head or on my ears because if I get too much pressure on my head, that is another thing I freak out about, because I feel like I'm being suffocated. And this happened to me the other day at karaoke. I was at karaoke at a local pub, and they put some heavy headphones on my head so I could block out all the other noise. And when he put the headphones on my head, the pressure of the bar, this bit here on my head, literally felt like someone had literally forced their hand on my head, and it felt like I couldn't get it off. It literally felt like I had such heavy pressure being put on my head. I'm like, get them off, 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 get them off. And my dad was like, Gemma, calm down. It's not hurting you. They're headphones. You can just slip them off. Everything will be fine. I'm like, no, everything's not fine, because I feel like I've
now
got
it
someone's
fucked up my
hand
head.
in my head.
Right.
I'm like, get off. Ah.
That's like Roy's. I don't wear Roy's a lot unless I'm gaming on my PlayStation. But they're real. If you notice, mine are really loose.
Yeah.
His
I have mine
really
on like the halfway setting, so mine are
right. His are really suctioned to my head, and it's like, I'm like, these are made for small people. I have a fat head. These don't work. Let me go back and get a different pair. There was one pair that I had that had the metal right here, but then it had a plastic, like, stretchable band across it, and those worked the best for me. And I couldn't hear shit. Like, my kids were talking to me, and I'd be like, and I couldn't hear anything. It's almost like a painful sensation. Yes, Chloe.
Right, Chloe. Yeah, exactly.
Chloe, you know how I was talking about my friend who has a son that's autistic?
Yeah.
Her son's that was her son.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She does everything to make sure that her son is taken care of. They also make noise canceling, reducing headphones like Hunters use with volume knobs so you can control how much you hear or hear nothing at all. I need those.
Yeah,
I think Chloe needs those.
I need to buy some of the noise cancelling ones, because these ones only have limited noise control, but there is loop ones that I do want to buy, actually, with the full noise cancelling ones, because that would do the world of good. Like, these are my everyday headphones. These Sony ones, these ones I take with me in my handbag, or if I'm going out, because they're Wi-Fi based and Bluetooth based, so I can plug these into my phone, into my cell phone, and connect my music so people don't bother me. But these only last they last for a 24-hour charge, so I have to charge these up every day to keep the battery on them. But they do get really annoying, because you have to, when they start running out of charge, they bib at you, so you can hear the bib, and I'm like, oh no. So you have to be really careful with the headphones.
Chloe, remind me to look them up for you, and I'll find out where to get them and how much they are.
Yeah, I think you can buy them on like Amazon and different places, I think, from what I've seen, but I do need to buy myself some.
That's what I need, because, like, okay, right now I hear you, but I also hear my fan. I hear my dogs. I hear the other dogs. I hear all the cars that pass, and it starts making my head twirl. And that is why, literally, if anybody has ever noticed, I'm normally only live for like an hour and a half, because after that, I feel drained. I feel like I want to pass the fuck out. It's just like with gaming. We game for maybe 2 hours, and then I just want to pass out, unless I'm playing solo games. If I'm playing solo games, I could play them for hours, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It's when I'm Chloe, I can handle Chloe, I can handle RD, I can handle Alex. It's when we get a new person in, I'm really off skittish, or I'm just a huge flirt. It all depends. If they're over the age of 18, sometimes I like flirting. But certain people rub me the wrong way, and Chloe can even testify. One of her friends joined us, or ex-friends, I don't know. And I'm literally like, no. But now, like, one of RD's friends joined us, and he was laughing and joking and just having fun with us. And I literally, it was
Yeah.
calming to me. Literally mentally
Right.
draining. I get it. Same here. Yeah. By the end of our gaming session, Chloe and I are just mentally drained. It's like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's is a huge part of autism, and that's why I'm going
Yeah,
to get.
yeah. It's called sensory overwhelm. So for me, there's a certain limit that my brain will not cope with after a certain time period. Like, say for
It's
instance,
like on a
if I've been out
PC.
all day and then someone expects me to say do a live stream at night and they're, oh, come on, Gemma, like, come and tell us what you've been up to during the day, or, and I'm just like, you know what, no, I'm tired, I'm mentally drained, I feel physically that my body's burning me, I feel absolute achy, I'm in pain, no, I'm not going to stream. And then people are like, oh, you can't be that bad, and I'm like, you don't get it. I've been out all fucking day. My body hurts. My brain hurts. I'm literally in so much pain that I want to scream at somebody. And I don't want to do that on a live stream because it's not fair to me and it's not fair to everyone else who watches me. So, therefore, the best thing for me to do is go away, rest, recharge my batteries. Then I can stream the next day to catch up with everyone. But people expect me to
Sometimes
be on so much.
sometimes it takes a while for my battery to redrain, especially if I've been sick. It's like I was sick last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm feeling better Thursday, but
Yeah,
still was drained. Friday, I did the live stream, did the walking, totally fucking drained. Saturday, did some recording on a shop, which will be out tomorrow. And then I was done there. Oh, we went to his sister's house, which I love his sister. I
yeah,
love his sister. She is amazing. His mom is amazing. The 30 fucking chihuahuas is what gets me. So normally I sit outside the whole time because they
yeah,
don't go outside a lot. So literally I'll hang out with them for a while and then it's like I gotta go outside. So
yeah,
they have a tent that's all set up where you can just go sit out there, and a lot of times it's like I'm overwhelmed. There's too many fucking people here, too much noise. I can't handle it. I'm going outside. Yes, my son does that. If he has a hard night and can't sleep, then he has to go to school. He literally has to hide in his room in the dark. You can see the toll it can be on him. Yep. And that's because he has to mask all day at school. So when he gets home from
yeah,
school, it's his time to fucking unmask and show who he is. And he knows that he's loved no matter how he acts. And burnouts is very common with autism because of the
yeah,
demand of having to try to cope with the regular world and make it through the day, doing routine and feeling pressure to meet social expectations. Daniel, that is very true, but I also want to say, especially with everybody has came for me reacting to lunatic dad's videos, which I do, but again, Froggy's mentally drained. Sometimes reacting to videos, like I'll have a video playing because sometimes I just like the noise of it, but it's normally on a game that I'm playing at that moment. So let's say I'm playing
yeah,
um Contraband Police. I'm watching videos on Contraband Police because I'm playing it, it's coinciding and it works. But other times it's like I don't want music, I don't want noise, I just want to play by myself. So reacting to loudness, which we all love dad for 100%.
yeah,
Clarifying, we all love dad for his loudness. Sometimes Froggy needs a break away from loudness, especially if she's had a hard week. And
yeah,
and that's exactly what, especially with summer coming up, it's I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. Okay, let's go. Well, you're not excited. No, I'm honestly not excited to go sit half of the time. Well, now Roy's trying to find me a little scooter that I can go down the trails with him on that ain't gonna get stuck and whatnot. So
Yeah,
that way I can go with him and they can walk. He can walk at his normal pace because he's a fast ass bitch. But that will help with the drain a lot because I'll just be driving around and I love doing that, but I'll still have emotional drainage or mental drainage at the end of the day. But it's like I just need a break from life. And then I feel bad because I worked so hard on my channel. And if I take a break from life, people are going to be like, well,
yeah.
you haven't even made it and you're already quitting. I'm not fucking quitting. I just need a break. I need a break from life. I need a
But
break
this is
from the
the thing.
stress. And I don't understand why people can't understand that sometimes people need a hiatus. Lunatic Dad's been on a hiatus for what, a month and a half, 2 months? A
Yeah,
month
this is
and a
the
half.
thing. Yeah, people don't understand this. You touched on a good topic here because this is what I can talk about from my perspective on it. Because a lot of you, well, some of you in Froggy's chat who know me already, my nan died in February and she had dementia and heart failure. And Froggy knows I found it really difficult to be on social media when my nan was dying because it was very sudden deterioration. She'd gone from being already unwell to then all of a sudden it was she'd gone from being unwell up here and still functioning, and all of a sudden it was just boom, 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 boom. And then it got towards Christmas, January. I said to Froggy, I remember saying to her, I was like, I don't think my nan's going to last much longer. I think she's going to be dying soon. And I remember just counting down the days. I was like, I know it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, she's going to be gone before I know it. And then February hits me and she just goes down and down and down. I'm like, okay, this is a matter of, we're talking weeks now. And then she died the 4th of March. So it was like, I knew from the beginning of January when I stopped seeing her because of her mental deterioration that I couldn't cope with. I walked away thinking, crap, my nan's dying, she's not going to be here much longer. And it took me the last month and a bit to come back because I literally had to have time off. My body was screaming at me to a point where I was like, you're going through loss, you're going through pain, your nan's gone, you've had to cremate her, you've had to say goodbye, you've had to go through all these emotions and the sensory overload, the heightened anxiety, the depression, blah blah blah, all that. And it literally hits me at one thing. It wasn't just one, two, three, four things. It was boom, one big trigger. It was like, oh, your nan's dead. Now I'm gonna hit you with anxiety. Now I'm gonna hit you with depression. Now I'm gonna hit you with pain. And it's just one thing after the next. And it took me until about 5-6 weeks ago to come back and go, you know what? I need to get back on my channel. My channel was slacking. I hadn't uploaded anything in like a month. And then I thought, you know what? I've got to come back because if I don't, people are going to miss me. They're going to start asking questions. And in
Right,
that
which
month that I was away, I had multiple emails, multiple.
where are you? Are you okay? What's going on? And that's the thing. Daniel says condolences, by the way.
Thank you,
That's
Daniel.
the thing, and I know Chloe can kind of testify to this one too because uh, her boyfriend is a streamer. Her fiance, I should say, is a streamer, and
Yeah,
just him streaming it, she gets to the point she's just like, I need a break away from it. And she's not even the one streaming. And she's just like, I need a break. A couple of days. Just give me a couple of days to refigure things out. And part of the reason why I'm Lunatic Froggy is because at the end of the day, you never know what the fuck you're going to get out of me. Honestly, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. You never know what's going to happen. And you never know where my channel is going to go. At the end of the day, I don't even know where my channel is going to go. But I'm trying my hardest. And to listen to people constantly be like, well, if you do this, you're going to fail. You do that, you're going to fail. You should do
right.
this or otherwise you're going to fail. It's like, anybody with any mental illness, and I'm pretty sure you can testify to this one too, Gemma. You put us failing in our head, we automatically assume we failed. So we're going
Yep.
to strive to continue to do it, even if we're burnt out, even
Yep.
if we're exhausted, we're tired, and then you're
Yep.
not going to get quality shit. Because we're going to
Right.
come
This
on a
is another
live
thing that
stream.
people don't
We're
get.
going to come on a live stream and it's going to be like this. Burnouts are very common with autism because of the demand of having to try to cope with the regular world. Make it, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. This
Nobody
is like
wants to fucking listen to that. I mean,
no. This
at
is
the end
why
of
I
the
said to
day, it's
Foggy
like,
earlier. When we do get to that point of our body's had enough and we physically and mentally can't do anything, people need to back off because I get sick of this when people say to me, "Oh, Gemma, where are you?" When like I've had meltdowns and stuff, and they're expecting me to be on the stream, or they'll tag me in something. They'll be, "Oh, Gemma should be here," or "At Gemma, where are you?" or "Gemma, Gemma, Gemma," and I'll hear my name on the stream. I'm like, for fuck's
dude, I'm
sake,
fucking
like
running away.
I've had
See,
enough.
and
Like I need time off. I need to
that's one thing I like.
de-stress.
Right, that's one thing I like about having the community tab because, like, when I was sick, literally I threw up, "Hey, I'm sick. I'm taking a couple of days off." Well, a couple of days ended up being like damn near a week, but 3 days of sickness left me fucking weak as fuck. For I'm still weak. A matter of fact, it's getting to the point where I'm getting tired, and I know you are.
I'm a little bit tired. I'm not too bad. So I before I had my dinner, I had a nap. I took a nap, so I was like, okay, I'm
Oh,
good.
I haven't taken a nap. I've been up since 4 a.m. my time. Um,
Wow, okay.
but no, it's more of a. It's not like tired. Like God, I want to go past the fuck up. It's tired of more like I'm exhausted. I've been streaming for
Yeah,
so
yeah,
long.
yeah.
I'm exhausted. And that's the tired I'm talking about. It's not like a tired, I'm going to go pass the fuck out because we all know damn well I go lay in bed and I'll be in bed for about 8 hours still just playing on my phone because
Yeah, this is the
even
thing.
just putting
Tiredness
music
is a
on.
really big thing with people with mental health and physical disability. People like me and Foggy, we display it differently. Foggy may be more physically displaying it because of how it affects her, but for me, tiredness is in my head, like exhaustion. I can't show you how tired I am because it's up here. I can show you
Right.
what I look like on the outside that symbolizes that I'm tired or that I've had enough. But when it comes to the physical up here, I can't because my brain goes, "Oh, well, you might be tired or you might feel shitty, but I'm not let you
We're
show
going
that
to keep
because
going.
I'm going to keep going and going and going and going until I press that one little trigger or somebody says something to me. They're like, "Oh, Gemma, oh, just snap out of it." And that one little trigger will be like, "Oh," and then also I'm like, "You know what? Fuck you." And then I snap because people are like, "Oh, just snap out of it or switch the switch off, Gemma. Just ignore it." And I'm like, I can't ignore it, you idiot.
Daniel, I will tell you that sentence right there. Yep, the more they hound you, the more it's going to trigger your fight or flight response. And when you're too burnt out to fight, the only option is to flight. God, I can't read today, and cause you to just more. That goes with everything,
Oh
literally
yeah.
fucking everything. It's not even hounding. A lot of times, like if your own mind can put you in the fight or flight. And I've noticed it. Like I'm looking at my desk, it's a fucking mess. Right now, my desk is a mess. I got everything up on my desk, including food. And I'm just sitting here going, I'm not gonna fucking deal with it. Let me move the shit over when I need it over. I'm not gonna deal with it. The reason why I'm not gonna deal with it, I will start cleaning this and then I'll start working on something else and then I'll start working on something else. And then by the time I feel like I accomplished something that fucking day, I'm laying in bed, body fucking twitching left and right, spasms happening, Charlie horses, turning myself in my body, putting my feet against the fucking wall and pushing as hard as I can to get my feet to unlock. And it's like, it's not worth it. I have a paid caregiver to come clean my shit. Later, he can clean it. I'm not dealing with it. Right now, he's doing all my laundry, so that's whatever. But
oh yeah,
and that's another issue. Fucking anybody with a mental or physical disability, you just look at something and you get so fucking overwhelmed. You're just like, I'm not gonna fuck with it. Fuck it, leave it. Yeah. And that's how I am with a lot of my editing. It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Fuck, I should have done that. I should have done this. So a lot of times you'll just see me throw up a fucking video without the editing because, especially after all of last week and then this whole last week going into this week, I'm still burnt out. And it's not burnt out like, oh, I don't want to deal with people. It's burnt out like, I'm done. I'm tired.
Oh yeah, I get it.
I don't want to deal with this shit. Just put it up there. I don't care today. Next week I'll care. Do a fucking thumbnail. Make it look all nice and pretty. But today, tomorrow, and possibly Wednesday, if I don't relax enough, I'm not going to be in the fucking mood to do thumbnails. I'm not going to be in the mood to edit. I'm not, like, literally, Gemma and I talked about doing this live stream, and I was on a game with my friend RD. The notification came up, and I'm like, do I feel like going live today? I'm like, I want to go live with Gemma because this is an important topic, and I really like hanging out with Gemma. So we're going to do it. But there are days where people are like, do you want to go live today? I'm like, no, I don't.
Right, I do that too. Like, there's been days when, like, Lunatic Dad's want me to go live with him, or there's been days where I've been asked on panel, like, Abraxas, and I'm just like, you know what? No, I don't feel well.
Today is not the day, homie. Try again tomorrow.
I've literally had to let people down and go, I'm really sorry to be a pain, but I can't. I physically, mentally can't. I'm so done that I literally have to sit and go.
It's not letting people down. I want to correct you on that one. Get that out of your head. It's not letting people down. If they feel upset or slighted in the fucking shortest possible way of saying that.
Yeah, I know it's not me, but that's how people perceive me, yeah.
Then that's on them, because what they got to realize is at some point in time, we have to say no. There was Saturday. Everybody kept hounding me to come up on Scott's stream. I knew it was his birthday. I told him I'd be up there. I was laying down because I just got home from driving 3 hours, and everything else that I've explained a million times. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. And then Roy's like, well, I'm going to throw your pizza. And I'm like, fuck it. I will go live until my pizza is here. And then I'm hopping off. Because I was so exhausted, whether it be emotionally, physically, or mentally. 3 different things all in one sentence. I was just exhausted, and it wasn't nothing about Scott. It wasn't nothing about Abraxas. It wasn't nothing about anybody that was up there. I was exhausted, and that's how that's literally how I felt for like the last fucking week and a half, is just exhausted. And I feel like I fail everybody when I don't come up. I feel like I failed Lunatic Dad because he's pushed my channel so hard. I feel like I failed Lunatic Mom. I fail Roy. I fail Jordan. I fail everything. And then it puts me in a mental, emotional turmoil of, you're fucking worthless. And then it's like, and I don't know if you experienced that too, but it's sometimes instead of saying get your ass up there, be like, hey, are you mentally prepared to go live with me today? Abraxas, I normally go live with him because his ass never goes live.
Yeah, this is the thing. People need to understand that there's certain things that me and Froggy can't do. You know, there's certain reasons why our bodies won't let us, or why we don't feel up to it. And people, instead of assuming that we're lazy or that we're not being bothered, it's the fact that we can't. Like my body, like I know very shortly I'm going to have to go because my body's already telling me. I've been doing so much social media stuff today and
Didn't I tell
talking
you
on
you
Zoom
were
calls
coming
that
to
my
the
body's
end?
like, you need to go to bed soon. Like my body's starting to go, ow, you suck, and I can feel it. I'm pushing past it because I know I'm enjoying myself, so I'm staying here.
Right. So you know what? Why don't we continue this on to another day? We'll have a part 2 of
Yeah, sure, yeah,
how mental illnesses affect our lives, because we have great conversations, and we'll
absolutely.
end it
I
here
love being here. Yeah,
so that way you can go relax. I'll probably hop on a couple solo games by myself and just
yeah.
ignore the
I'm
world
gonna
like I
leave you to
normally
bed
do.
and we crash.
So, what's your final words to these lovely people?
I want to say to you, Foggy, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity and a platform to have my voice out there. And also that, please, guys, if you see Froggy or me in a distressed state, or you assume that we're not acting right, or we're not presenting right, please go and educate yourselves, because we're not being rude, we're not being fussy, stubborn, lazy, rude, disrespectful. We are people who have mental health conditions. We are people who have physical health conditions. Please take the time to be considerate, because you never know if it's going to happen to you. It's something that we can't control.
Amen to that. And I will end that off saying, I hope you all have an amazing night. I thank everybody for coming out. Daniel, thank you so much for all the wonderful information that you have given us. And Miss Gemma, thank you for having this wonderful conversation and giving more
Anytime.
information, because honestly, there's a lot of things I didn't know that was on the spectrum that I do personally myself.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if anybody in this world has any of the symptoms that me, Gemma, and I were talking about, please don't be afraid to go get yourself
No, go
tested.
and get help. I will send Froggy some links to some autism and mental health places that I know of, and I will also send her the American equivalent as well, so she can then upload the links into this video, or I'll send them to her
Yeah, I'll
messenger. And
throw
then
about
if
the
you need
link.
help from an American perspective or UK perspective, there'll be both sets of links there for you. But take care, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.